You think you're treating your dog like a member of the family, but you might actually be destroying their mental health. By projecting human emotions onto your pet, you are stripping away their pack-based security and replacing it with chronic identity anxiety. Stop making these 8 common mistakes before your dog forgets how to be a dog. We love them. We call them our furry babies. We buy them clothes, take them to cafes, and share our beds with them. But this personification, this humanizing of our dogs, creates a dangerous cognitive dissonance inside their minds. You see, biologically, dogs do not crave egalitarian friendship. They don't want to be your equal companion. They crave hierarchy. They crave structure. In the wild, a pack has absolute clarity. Every member knows who is leading, who is following, and what their job is. But in our modern homes, we have replaced this clear framework with emotional confusion. We force complex social expectations onto their primal instincts, and when we take away their pack-based clarity, we leave them with generalized, quiet anxiety. But how does this happen in our daily routine? Let's look at the first 2 habits that are quietly draining your dog's confidence, and the second one is something almost every modern pet owner is guilty of. Habit number 1. Forcing them into complex human social settings. We love taking our dogs to crowded cafes, noisy offices, or busy public festivals. We think, oh, they must love being part of my life. But to a dog's sensitive nervous system, it can be absolute psychological exhaustion. Humans are primates. We thrive in noisy, crowded social gatherings. Dogs are predators. They thrive in calm, predictable territories. When you force your dog to sit under a tiny table at a busy cafe, with heels clicking, heavy scents of food and exhaust, and strangers constantly walking by, their cortisol levels skyrocket. Denying them the quiet downtime required by their species slowly erodes their mental peace. The symptom? If your dog is panting heavily in these places, yawning or constantly looking around, they aren't having fun. They are on high alert, waiting for a threat. Which brings us to habit number 2, the friendly dog trope. We expect our dogs to love everyone and everything. We let strangers walk up, bend over them, and pat their heads. But in canine culture, entering someone's personal space without an invitation is a direct threat. Think about it. How would you feel if a stranger walked up to you on the street and hugged you? You'd be terrified. Yet, when a stranger does it to your dog and your dog backs away, you pull the leash and say, "Be friendly." By ignoring their natural boundaries and forcing them into physical contact, we teach them that their signals of discomfort don't matter. They are trapped. And when a dog feels trapped, their anxiety spikes. Now, you might think, well, my dog is safe at home, so they are fine. But actually, the home is where the biggest identity crisis happens. And it all starts with a simple house rule you broke yesterday. Habit number 3. Shifting household rules based on your mood. If jumping on the couch is okay on Friday night when you're lonely and watching a movie, but gets them scolded on Monday morning because you're dressed for a job interview, you are shattering your dog's sense of predictability. Dogs do not understand, sometimes. They do not understand nuance. To a dog, a rule is either a law or it doesn't exist. When you change the rules based on your emotions, your dog's world becomes unstable. They no longer know what is safe and what is forbidden. Inconsistency breeds deep, chronic confusion. This leads directly to habit number 4, diluted and varying commands. Humans love to talk. We use paragraphs to communicate. Come on, buddy, let's go outside, hurry up. But to your dog, this is just white noise. When you use come, here, come on, and get over here all for the same action, you dilute the association. They don't understand the words. They understand the clear association between a single sound and a reward. When the association is messy, their security is lost. They become hesitant, wondering if they are doing the right thing. And the most dangerous home habit, habit number 5, asking them to be the protector. Many owners say, "I love that my dog is protective of me." But here is the hard truth. When we do not establish clear, structured leadership, the dog's primal instinct kicks in. They assume they must protect the home and the pack. But your dog is not mentally equipped to handle the stresses of modern human environments. They don't know who the mailman is and who is an intruder. They don't know why a guest is allowed in, but a stranger on the street isn't. Forcing them to make executive decisions about who is a threat is a massive psychological weight. They are living in a constant state of hypervigilance. But what if the way we show love is actually perceived as a physical threat? The next 3 habits are sensory triggers we use daily without even realizing it.
Habit number 6, forced affection, specifically hugging. To humans, a hug is the ultimate expression of love. To a canine, wrapping your arms around their neck and locking them in place is an act of physical dominance and restraint. In the wild, the only times a canine wraps their limbs over another's neck is during a fight, a play fight, or mating. When you hug your dog, you are telling their primal brain, "I am trapping you." Look at your dog next time you hug them. Do you see the whites of their eyes? Are their ears flat? Is their body stiff? They aren't enjoying the hug. They are tolerating it out of love for you. But tolerance has a limit. And then there's habit number 7, the intense, prolonged stare. We stare at our dogs because we adore them. But in the animal kingdom, a direct, unblinking stare is a challenge. It's an aggressive gesture. If you stare at a strange dog, they might growl. If you stare at your own dog, they will often look away, lick their lips, or yawn. These are appeasement signals. They are begging you to look away because your stare is causing them stress. When we constantly seek intense eye contact, we disrupt their natural body language cues, leaving them on edge. Finally, habit number 8, constant verbal chatter. Coots communicate through subtle posture, micro-expressions, and energy. When we drown them in constant high-pitched verbal venting and babbling, their sensitive auditory system goes into overload. Imagine living with someone who speaks a foreign language, but they never stop shouting it in your ear. You would constantly try to decode every word, searching for meaning, getting exhausted. That is what your dog does. They try to find a command in your chatter, and when they can't, they burn out from the mental noise. So, how do we fix this? How do we stop causing this silent suffering and give them their confidence back? The answer is simpler than you think, but it requires you to change first. To heal your dog's anxiety, you must shift from human-centric emotional fulfillment to providing species-specific clarity. They don't need a roommate. They need a calm, consistent leader. Start today. Implement silent communication. Use hand signals instead of constant shouting. Create predictable house rules that never change, no matter your mood. Use physical boundaries, like a crate or a specific bed, to lower their cortisol levels. Give them a designated safe space where no one, not even you, disturbs them. When you respect their primal needs over your modern convenience, you don't lose their love, you gain their trust. Let your dog be a dog, because their mental health depends on it.